I just crossed the border from Mexico. You got any health care? I need to go see a doctor. It's been a long walk.
Welcome to California, brother. How are you doing? Yeah, take this right here. This will get you everything covered for free. All right?
Gracias.
Do you have a phone by chance?
No.
Oh, here you go, brother. Here you go.
Wow.
America?
America?
I'm assuming you don't have a place to live right now. Do you have a house?
No.
Here you go. $30,000 for a down payment.
Wow.
Welcome to America.
Yes.
Hi. I just saw that guy walk out with a bunch of free stuff. Can I get some?
Yeah, what country do you come here from?
I'm an American.
American? What do you want, like a handout or something? Why don't you go get a job, pay your taxes? How else are we going to afford to pay him?
Are you kidding me?
Americans. Entitled.
Alrighty, guys, Conservative Confucius. It is Friday, Shabbat. Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. How are you guys doing? And let's get down to it, guys. So some great news. Sinwar, the mastermind behind October 7th attack, has been deleted off of the face of the planet. So that is great, great news. We also have some other things we're going to talk about today, like the black men in this country are finally done with the Democratic Party. Polling is continuing to increase. You know, just a couple months ago, it was around 21%, or 22%, which is, it has increased since then. It's now 29%. And these are polls, by the way. So they're not accurate. You have tons, thousands, millions of people, really, millions and millions of people, probably close to hundreds of millions of people who do not ever fill out polls just because they don't really feel like it. I've never filled out a poll. I don't think anybody in my adoptive family has ever filled out a poll. I don't know. I've never asked my parents or my birth sister if she's ever filled out a poll. I really don't know anyone personally who has ever filled out a poll. And I think that is something that we need to take in consideration when looking at this election. We are wildly not overperforming, but we're, performing well in this election. And I think that if we continue moving forward as we are, we will win this election. So let's get right down to it, guys. All righty, don't forget to go down there, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and do not forget to leave a comment and share this video if you guys like it. Don't forget to go check out my Discord, and don't forget to go check out my merch store at streamlabs.com/conservative Confucius/merch. That's streamlabs.com/conservative Confucius/merch. All righty, guys, let's get right into it and do it. All right, we opened up with that funny video of of the guy going and getting welfare and crap, even though he's an illegal immigrant. And that was posted by Pismo. And it's welcome to Kamala Harris's America. It was posted by what looks to be a TikTok called America First something. America First HEA. So if you want to go check out their TikTok page, go do that. Alrighty, I wanted to open up with some things first just about Kamala Harris, and then we'll move into the death of the Hamas leader, and then we'll move into the second topic. Alrighty, so here we go. She was caught using a teleprompter at one of her most recent events just to answer questions. So instead of saying, "Oh, Miss Kamala Harris, how do you propose to handle the economy if you get elected?" Or "How do you propose to handle the border if you get elected?" Answering these simple questions, instead of just saying, "Yes, I plan to do this. This is my policy." She had to have a teleprompter tell her what to say because she is so bad at interviews and answering questions. It is absurd. All right, so here we go. Hold on. Let's turn on the sound. Oh, God.
Caught using a teleprompter to answer questions at a town hall when the camera angle shifted.
A town hall? Are you kidding me?
Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? The only question I
Look,
ever
right
ask
there.
is, are you
They turned it off.
And sadly,
once the cameraman, or once the producers realize the cameraman is looking at these screens, he turns it off and is like, "Oh, hits the button." Like, watch.
We have seen over the last 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene.
Yep, they turned off both of them. The second he realized that was still on, he turned it off, and then once the camera passed, I'm assuming obviously that he turned it right back on. That's probably why he couldn't do it the whole time, because she was still reading. So he did it when it was possible. And it's insane to think that we have a presidential candidate who can't even answer questions from the audience without someone typing out an answer, or without these people being plants, which we do not know. I'm not saying they are, but it is very, very possible, because it didn't look like, when you have a person typing out on a prompter, it literally shows the words being typed out, like letter after letter. But this was all pre-stated. It wasn't coming around, down like this. This was one paragraph automatically put on the thing and stayed there until she finished it. And then the guy turned off the screen because he didn't want it to be seen. But if that was a teleprompter being typed out, if that was someone typing out what she needed to answer, it would have been seen that way. And you can see that in previous, and even in movies, they've shown in news movies where someone's typing it out, or in other situations, you can watch that happen. But never have we had someone who is taking questions and it either is a plant, or somehow these are predestined answers that they had ready if someone answered this question or asked this question, which is possible. But for me, with all of the fake ads that she does, the police officer who she said endorsed her, lies, all of the people, all of the men in her Men for Harris ads, oh, manly men do this. Oh, manly men would vote for Harris. Oh, that stupid ad. All of them were actors. All of them. Not one of them was a average everyday dude doing the work they claimed to do. All of them were either actors or paid people who still didn't do the job they said they did, whether they were working on horses or a mechanic or whatever. They didn't do that. And this is just more proof that all she does is lie, use propaganda and deceit to try to win the votes of the American people, which is why you have Barack Obama going up to black men and saying, if you don't vote for her, you are voting for someone against you. This is what he said. Would you rather vote for someone who looks like you and grew up like you, or would you rather vote for a rich white man who doesn't have your interests at heart? That's like, what? I'm sorry. How does she have their interests at heart due to the dint of her skin color? Like, I'm sorry. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Someone's skin color automatically means that they have the same values as you. There are millions of Jews who are far left, and I despise everything they do. They give us a bad name. Anybody who is ethnically Jewish feels like, on the right especially, or the middle, hates far leftist Jews because they give us a bad name. Everybody that talks nasty about Jews, they're all talking about the far left. So you have almost 50% of Jews in America, or probably close to 60, that do this crap and give us a bad name. So why would I expect them, because of their ethnic background, to be just like me? Why should they expect her to be just like them? It doesn't make any sense, and it's extremely racist. But that's Barack Obama, a race-baiting, racist piece of garbage. Alrighty, let's move into this. Sorry, this one should be over here. So we have eliminated multiple leaders of Hamas, Hezbollah. So this was one of the former leaders of Hezbollah. Saw also two more possible leaders were eliminated. Also, multiple high-ranking Hezbollah military members and thousands more of their soldiers have been eliminated, which is amazing. This is another leader of Hamas, a much larger one, a billionaire. He's deleted. Here's another one of them. He's, like it says, he's got a little hourglass waiting because, his time will come, is what they're saying. Sinwar, this is the leader and mastermind of the brigade that planned and took part. I don't want to say took part, was the ones who acted out the October 7th attack. They were the ones who did it all. They also took in citizens, and UNRWA, UNRWA members also helped because they were members of Hamas. So you have citizens, you have UNRWA members, or UNRWA workers who are Hamas members, and just military Hamas members, terrorists who took part in that attack. And now he has finally been eliminated. Thank God. This is by Hassem probably, Hassem al-Hurayed, I'm guessing, something like that. So that's amazing. This guy, I'm not sure who this one is. I think he's another Hezbollah, or no, Houthis. I think he's Houthis. So yeah, so we've done really well getting rid of them. This is Zach Sage Fox.
Okay,
We've covered a ton
Sinwar-
of his videos. He's great. We're going to listen to him real quick. Go check him out if you haven't. Make sure you give him a follow. His videos are fantastic. His interviews on the street are unparalleled when it comes to this.
Is dead. You know, it's contradicting because you don't want to celebrate when someone dies. Okay, a pigeon fully almost just shit on my face, but that's a sign from God that maybe we can celebrate when someone dies in this very rare and particular case.
I mean, if when Hitler was killed, no one said, "Oh, don't celebrate Hitler's death." No, people did. Okay, celebrating the death of someone evil is, I don't think there's truly anything wrong with that. I mean, people all over the world, when their oppressive leaders are overthrown, when people celebrate in the streets when Saddam Hussein was killed, people celebrate in the streets when Pol Pot was killed, like all these different leaders, like they celebrated in the streets. So it's not, I don't think it's wrong. I think it's just part of human nature to celebrate the destruction of evil. It's not the person dead we're celebrating. It's the end of something destructive and evil. So
Sinwar is an actual monster who is
Yeah.
mastermind behind 10/7, and even after Israel literally gave him surgery to save his life decades ago,
Yep.
he
True.
still is a sociopath that wanted to kill Jews, and
Yep.
he's a total schmuck, top schmuck. And he probably wouldn't like me saying that very much after his death. I would say schmuck's not that heavy of a word, but you know what?
No, it's not.
He would find that very offensive. So, yes, our
That's because it's a Yiddish word and he hates Jews.
Sinwar, I hope the 72 virgins are all men, and that
right?
they're not virgins at all, actually. I hope they're very experienced. I hope they're very experienced men, because I know that's not what you would.
I hope they're all big, hairy, buff men who aren't just, experienced, but are tops. So he's going to be the bottom for 72 experienced male men for the rest of his life. And every day, instead of the virgins becoming virgins, every day they become virgins again, like says in the Hadiths. He becomes, he gets tighter and tighter every day, just tight, right back to the tightness. Every day his starfish goes back to being brand new tight. And every day he has to get railed by 72 experienced, massively buff, men. That would be hilarious, because he's not in heaven. I mean, that he might think that's paradise, who knows? But he's definitely down in hell. So he ain't in Jinnah. Let's just say that. I don't think he had time to say the Shahada before he died anyways. Alrighty, let's go on.
And I hope that hell is terrible for you. Do Jews believe in hell? In this case, we do.
Yeah, I'm so tired of people saying this. So many different, for some reason, some Jews say, "Oh, we don't believe in heaven and hell." It's like, dude, where do you think Elijah went when God took him up? Where do you think the people of Sodom went? God may have not said the word hell in the Old Testament, but he definitely said, heaven. He definitely took people to heaven. That was obvious that he was taking them to live with him, in connection with him, in a paradise. That's heaven. And hell is obviously a place where evil people go. And all hell is, it's not fire and brimstone. Hell isn't a lake of fire. That's just a poetic term for it. What it is separation from God. And we all have the ability to be connected to God now. We have that connection. But if we go to hell, we will forever unable to be ever connected. So we can deny the connection or live with the connection and foster that connection in a relationship. But if you are in hell, there is no fostering a relationship. You can't ask for a connection again just because you decided to not believe it when you were on earth. You can not believe and then believe and have that connection. You have that option here, but you don't in hell.
Today, I believe in hell. I'm gonna go read the Torah. I'm gonna go check.
Sorry, these are supposed to be loaded up. I'm going to have to blur this out, so you can go look this up. I'm definitely going to have to blur this out, just making sure. If you can see it through the blur, awesome. If you can't, go check out David Atherton on Twitter. David Atherton 20. That's what it's at David Atherton 20. Or Dave Atherton. My bad. Yeah. So it is insane. He always looks like a little rat. He's got massive ears and these like little beady rat eyes. And of course, another little Twitter rat that works for Russia and Hamas. And maybe he's not getting paid anymore because I haven't seen him post as much as he used to. But he says, breaking news. Yahya Sinwar, leader of Hamas, has been murdered by Israel, according to DNA reports. Really? You're such a little wuss. I want to say the other word that rhymes with that, but yeah, no. You are a little snot-nosed brat, grifting piece of crap, Jackson. Ugh. Same with the Syrian girl and Suleiman Ahmed. All those losers, what is it? Pell something, all those little dumb Twitter Palestine propaganda losers. Low IQ. Twice? Oh, my bad. Yeah, so here, this is, people say, oh, Israel's too harsh. They shoot kids. They shoot them. It's so awful. Okay, well, here's a 14-year-old attacking a soldier just standing in the street. He comes up, says he wants to talk, and the guy's like, oh, hey, what's going on? How are you today? Blah, blah, blah. Because they deal with kids all the time, and they give them water. They literally carry candy on themselves to give to children because children like going up to soldiers and talking to them because they admire them. And he thought, oh, here's just another kid. Maybe he's a Arab. Maybe he's a Jew. Who knows? They all look alike, and they all can look alike, I guess is the best way to say it. And he goes up to him and he acts like he's just being friendly. And then out of nowhere, he whips out a knife and just goes, bah, 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 bah. Just crazy. Watch this crap. He's like, hey, what's going on? Like, how you doing? Like, yeah. Oh, he's like, hey, what's up? You need something? And he's like, yeah. Bah, 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 bah. And the guy's like, oh, dude, stop. What the hell? And he can't shoot him or do anything. And he runs away and the other guys shoot him. And they're like, he shot him while he was running away. I'm like, yeah, he was an armed attacker who just tried to murder someone, and that person has multiple chest injuries. Are you kidding me? He's lucky that he lived. And this is like one of thousands of cases. I've shown another video where the kid walked into a police station and the garage is open, kind of like a fire station, and he walks in and they run in and they're like, hey, what's going on? And then out of nowhere, they two of them sprint towards the police and just start stabbing them and running, stab. It was insane. Both of them one of them got killed. The other one was put in juvenile prison for attempted murder on like 4 officers. It was insane. I think one of them ended up dying of injuries later on from like complications in surgery. So people look at these children. Oh, Israel kills children. It's like, really? No, they kill. If you pick up a knife and try to murder someone, you are no longer a child. You have made an adult decision that requires adult punishment. He shouldn't just be in prison. My opinion, that kid should be executed just like every other murderer. I do not like when murderers get treatment of whether it's their status, their race, their sex. I don't care. You murdered someone, unless it was in self-defense, unless, obviously I don't think it should be right away. I think that there should be a time for an appeal, make sure, all that stuff to make sure that the evidence that was seen in court can be reviewed by either another judge or the same judge again in another jury to make sure that the evidence that was given was true. I mean, if there's video proof like this, obviously you don't need that. But if there isn't, there should be some type of appeal process available. If there's video proof like this, I'd say set the execution date for whenever the trial's done. Like, that's it. So there's this group in Canada called Samadun, and Samadun is a terrorist group that has come about in the last year or so. They are Muslims, and even white people are joining all over Canada and all over the Northeast and all over the West Coast. And basically, they believe the same things as the Houthis, Hezbollah. They have the same motto: death to. Well, they say they add Canada in there, but their motto in Canada is death to Canada, death to United States, death to Israel. If you throw death to Jews in there, you have the same motto minus Canada, literally, as both Houthis and Hezbollah. And then in America, it's death to the United States, death to Israel, and then they say whatever else sometimes, like, and long live the Intifada and crap like that. This group openly calls for violence, openly calls for the death of Jews, openly has supported terrorist groups and has massive connections to them. And yet Trudeau's government refuses to condemn them, refuses to acknowledge that their threats are real, and refuses to say anything about it other than they have the right to free speech. But a man who says a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and that a woman can't have a penis, somehow that is more controversial and is considered hate speech and is jailable. There are people in jail right now for saying that in Canada. Yet you can say death to Jews, death to America, death to Israel, death to Canada, death to whatever else. Long live the Intifada, long live, Hamas, all that crap. And you can be fine. You can support terrorists, advocate for terrorists, and even show terrorist actions. And yet that's not illegal. But saying a man is a man and a woman is a woman and a woman can't have a penis is prison material. It's something that can get you put in prison for simply stating a fact, while violent slogans and actions can do nothing other than say, well, they have free speech and they're fighting for human rights. And it's like, what?
Canada. This is the meaning of diversity. We don't want unchecked, unvetted terrorists in the name of refugee to put our lives under risk. I came here as a refugee. Cyrus is here as a refugee. Many of my friends are here as a refugee. We stand for this country. Right. We know the meaning of freedom.
People from Iran, you can see the Iran flag right there. They understand what real terrorism is. They understand what Islamic oppression is. They understand what it's like living under the boot of those people, which is why they are firmly on the side of the United States and Israel, because they are done with that crap. They don't want to see it ever again. It ruined their country. Iran was like amazing. It was like all the big cities in Iran were like the New York of the Middle East. They were amazing. And in the 70s and the 60s, and then boom, late 70s, I think it was, Muslim extremists took over the country and overthrew the Shah of Iran. And the entire country went from this amazing, progressive, 70s progressive, not now, for a Muslim, let's just put it that way, progressive for a Muslim country. And it was crazy. They were all wearing normal clothes, like in the 70s, like you would see in New York or in Chicago or in, Dallas or wherever else. And out of nowhere, the entire country was taken over by radical extremists. And they went from that to complete coverage of a woman's body with nothing but an eye slit. And women were not allowed to speak anymore, go to college anymore. All of the colleges that had women's classes and women's dorms, all gone. All made for males now. And all the women's teachers fired and jailed. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Women who didn't wear a hijab or in a covering, beaten. Like, now in some areas of Iran, it's full covering, a naqib, I think it's called, or in some it's just the hijab. And it's pretty brutal over there.
I lost my freedom once in Iran by the IRGC, by the Ayatollah. I don't want to lose my freedom here again.
Yeah.
We stand for Canada. This is the meaning of diversity.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Die Selbstverteidigung bedeutet natürlich, dass man Terroristen nicht nur angreift, sondern zerstört. Deswegen habe ich so klar und deutlich gemacht, wenn Hamas-Terroristen sich hinter Menschen, hinter Schulen verschanzen.
If you guys can't read it, let me read it for you. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Self-defense, of course, means not only attacking terrorists, but destroying them. That is why I have made it so clear when Hamas terrorists hide behind people, behind schools, then we get into a very difficult issue. But we will not, well, we won't shy. That's why I made it clear to the UN that civilian places can also lose their protected status because terrorists abuse it. That's what Germany stands for, and that's what Israel's security means for us. And it's true. If you look in the Geneva Convention and the other UN charter codes and statutes, they say that, for example, even a hospital, a church, a school can lose its protected status as a church, as a school, as a hospital, if they hide either weapons, or it is used as a military base, or it is hiding military members. When they do that, any military agent on the opposite side can attack those people in that building, in that facility, because it is no longer a protected building, whether it's a hospital, a school, a church, it doesn't matter, a mosque, it is no longer that. Even if there are civilians inside, it is now considered a building with hostiles in it, holding other people either hostage or using them as shields to guard themselves from possible harm from the opposing forces. That's it. It is not a war crime like Jackson Hinkle and Pell whatever and all these other idiots, Suleiman Ahmed and everyone else thinks it is. It's not. You can look it up in the Geneva Convention. You can look up international war law. You can do any of that, and it'll tell you what's going on and why it's not a war crime. By the way, that last post was from Hamas Atrocities. You should go check them out. Got a great channel. This is from, we're getting into the next topic now. So this is about, what's going on right now with voting, with the election, and mainly with black voters. But I wanted to make sure we got this in here. This is from the Daddy Twins. I've never heard of them, but, I saw this post and I thought it was great. FBI crime data just released shows us exactly what we thought about crime during his administration. It is up, 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 just like the job numbers and economic statistics. The crime numbers have been manipulated to fit the narrative. We knew the truth, but boy, it feels good to see them admit it. FBI, and all that stuff. So here we go.
Guess what? We were right. What you're looking at is the FBI has revised all of its crime status. Right? Here it is right here. Crime is not down, crime is up. I encourage everybody to go and get this data from the FBI crime statistics right here. You can go and find this anywhere and take a look for yourself. Look at this, libs of TikTok just tweet this out right here. FBI just quietly updated their crime data for 2022. Turns out it was missing thousands of crimes. Just like we said, there were something like 6,800 departments not reporting, including Los Angeles and including New York City.
Wow,
here we are.
those are the
Look,
biggest.
The updated data shows that there were 80,000 more violent crimes in 2021. There were an additional 2,000 murders, 8,000, you see it there? 33,000 robberies and 37,000 aggravated assaults right there. Just like we said it is. It is free tweets us out. They don't censor lies, they censor truth. This is what creates a monster that will consume us all, just like they have in the UK. All facts. So tweets this out. FBI noted that not all agencies participate in the Uniform Crime Reporting Program, which could lead into incomplete data set trends from 2021, right?
Well, I mean, there were multiple states, mainly cities, and DAs and other people and AGs that said, we're no longer going to report our crime. New York City was one of them. A couple other states that I can't remember. This was a big story like a few months back when multiple states said they would no longer report their crime statistics. The FBI said that too, but then they started doing it again. But yeah, it's pretty absurd that we see this and we don't see like a note on these, like the crime data they was released before all this new stuff, finally accurate stuff was released. It should have said, crime data for 2021 or 2022 or 2020 or whatever. And then it should have said in like a little star, like a little, that little star symbol with, I think it's like 9 points or whatever. It should say star data in this graph or data in this, whatever is not fully accurate due to whatever states, New York City, Los Angeles, and blah, 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 blah. These cities are, not giving data for their crime in this year, whatever it is, So it should have a note saying this, this data is not accurate due to these states not being, or cities not being included. But yet they don't say that. They just say this is the data for the entire country. And it's like, what about Chicago? What about New York? What about LA? Like, why aren't they talking about that? Why did they just tell us, here's your complete data? And then eventually, finally, when it gets outed, they're like, oh, well, yeah, they didn't add those in, but this is the new stuff. And it's like, really? Really? Just stop lying to us for once.
Here we are. Insurrection Barbie tweets this out. They edit job numbers. They edit crime numbers. They edit Democratic speeches. Does anybody believe them? Absolutely not. We all said it. And take a look at this, right? This is just common sense scale for you. Pay attention.
Dove soap. It's now behind that thing. You have to ask for someone to come and open it if you want Dove soap. Is there like a black market now for Dove soap that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, you could call it a black market.
Like this before. We could just go right in there.
I guess you could call it a black market. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Not anymore. You have to hit these buttons, even for chewing gum, even for candy, even for Band-Aids, even the simplest things in life. You have to push that button.
Candy? Are you kidding me?
You know why? Because crime's up.
$1.99 candy bar. $1.99 candy bar. So I can't go to Walgreens and get $100,000 bar without bringing a button, waiting a few minutes to get the person there, and then them unlock it. Like, that's absurd. They not only have to put their stuff behind glass, which means less people shop at their store for convenience reasons, but I'm guessing, this is just my guess, they'll have to hire twice as many people to have people on hand every single time someone needs something. Because Walgreens before, CVS before, they would have 2 people at the counters, 1 person walking around, and maybe 1 to 2 people back in the pharmacy. That's it. That is it. And like, usually it was 1 person at the photo booth, actually 1 person at the front counter, 1 to 2 people in the pharmacy, and 1 more person walking around that would do stuff until there was a line, and then they would come up and work the second register. So now that I'm guessing that they have to have that same setup, but multiple people, not just the 1 extra person. I'm talking like 4 or 5 walking around to make sure they can do stuff for the customers that need stuff. And that is insane. When people say, oh, well, they're increasing prices. It's like, yeah, because you stole all their crap. And then they were like, well, what do we do now? Shoplifting isn't just bad at those places. Other businesses are suffering too. And when that happens, they have to increase the price due to other people stealing crap and making it harder for them to make profit when 90% or 10%, sorry, not 10%, it's way more than that. CVS shut down multiple stores in California. Same with Walgreens, because they were losing around, like, if they shipped them, let's say 400 bottles of a certain shampoo, of that 400, around 80 to 90% of them were being stolen, because they would come and take the entire row of stuff and then they would put it in a bag. And they were doing that with so many different products. So why is it when, Tresemme or, Crew for Men gets all of their crap stolen at one store, and this is happening in multiple cities, multiple stores, and all of this is being stolen, those companies have to increase the product price to make money because they're sending all of this merchandise out and not receiving the profit from it. Why would any company not do that? It makes no sense. So here, we're going to move on to the next tab. So here, this is from Tony X2 on Twitter. Black men are voting for Trump in droves.
We're about to make the biggest decision. What kind of camera work is this? Okay, go back down. Will it be Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, or J.D. Vance and the trumpet?
Robert F. Kennedy wanted to be off of this ballot, and he's still on there, which is absurd.
It's going to be Donald Trump.
Good. I don't understand why it says a bubble next to each name. Look. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I saw 2 bubbles next to one there, one there. And I was like, that makes no sense. Why would you can't vote for a separate vice president. That'd be kind of cool if you could, but you can't.
Another Negro for Trump. Get it in ya.
You got Rob Smith talking about black voters on News Nation.
And, you know, you got to forgive a lot of things about Trump to vote for him. And you said, oh, yeah? How would it go over if he
See, this
said,
is 26.
I'm
It's
gonna
actually
give you free
29.
weed, black guys, go enjoy yourselves. That's what Harris's plan is.
Yeah.
Why isn't that working for you?
Well, the Harris plan doesn't work for me because basically, if black men were an important thing to Kamala Harris, she would not be putting out this little 5-point proposal 3 weeks out of an election. She would not be going out of her way to talk to black men 3 weeks before the election.
And it wouldn't say, we're going to give you weed. Like, really? That's your ploy for black men? You think black men are just lazy potheads who want money and weed? You racist bitch.
Right? And like I said, if Donald Trump had put out a proposal that said, hey, black men, I want your vote. I'm going to legalize marijuana.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Kamala Harris campaign would say about that? It's completely
Racist.
ridiculous. It's disrespectful to black men. And honestly, I don't think that they knew that they were going to get this blowback from the Obama comments where he basically shamed and denigrated black men for not being excited enough to go vote for Kamala Harris. So what black men are basically saying, and look, I'm not going to say that there's going to be this big groundswell of black support for Donald Trump. I think it's going to be more than 2020. But what black men are saying is you can't bully us, denigrate us, shame us into supporting this woman who may not align with what we agree with. And by the way, illegal immigration is also an issue for black Americans.
Yeah,
and
it's like they're number
Americans.
one, basically.
And black men know
Number two, economy
the Biden-Harris administration, over 90 executive orders,
Yeah, no. So for black men, the number one thing is mainly economy. But number two is illegal immigration. Every single one you talk to, this is what you'll hear. And I think I have another video that will go over that where black men talks about this stuff.
One, loosened Trump's restrictions on that border, which allowed 10 million illegal immigrants to flood across this country. They're not going to penthouses in New York. They're going to working class black communities. And black men see this.
One quick thing.
Yeah.
Obama's, the way he said it, I'll take your reckoning on it.
Yeah.
The idea that this guy has never been for you, not in his private life, not in his public life. How does that land with black? Not that you speak for all black men, but when you heard it as a black man, how does that land for you?
That Donald Trump doesn't, think about me or care about me or anything like that? Is that what you're
That's
saying?
what Obama was saying. That you'd even consider voting for a guy who has a track record of nothing but painting black men at their worst.
Well, this is what I say to that. Number one, we're not electing a best friend. We're not electing a drinking buddy. We're electing a president. And I think a lot of people, like I said, look, the mainstream media and everybody else has been denigrating Donald Trump for the past 10 years. People know who he is at this point. And I would wager that a lot of black men, a lot of people of color, a lot of people that are non-traditional Trump supporters are basically saying, I'm not voting for a drinking buddy. I'm not voting for a best friend. I'm voting for...
Basically, I think what one of these guys says here in a moment. So yeah, you got the gist of that. We'll move on. This is from Shani Rich. Yeah, everybody basically knows him by now.
That Trump should go to jail?
Hell no.
Why?
We all break the law sometimes. It's all right. He ain't hurt nobody. Free that man.
Yeah.
Free that
I'm all
man.
for Trump, man.
So you're saying Trump 2024?
2024.
All day.
All day. See?
All day.
Why?
To me, it's not really a Trump thing. It's just that, the Republican point of views just fit me a little better.
Do you think that the trials are making him more popular?
This is all part of the plan.
Yeah.
All propaganda and bull.
I don't agree with
They're
this
all-
part because he's saying that they're all friends, like Barack and Trump are friends. I don't believe that anymore. Maybe years ago, but now they despise that man.
Friends like the WWF. Trump, Biden, Obama, they're all friends.
Biden and
This ain't
Obama,
nothing but a
yeah.
series. You get a chance to write, direct, produce, and star in your own episode of life. I'm for the Trump point of views because, to me, he's just a businessman. Everybody that talk against him, talking personal. Nobody's even talking politics.
See?
I think he's a pretty good politician because he's not a politician.
Exactly.
He might be a narcissist. And as far as that racist shit, everybody got motherfuckers they can't stand. And to be honest, he can't stand the same type of motherfuckers he can't stand. And they're not black, they're not white, they're not Hispanic. He can't stand bitches and niggas. It's four kind of people on this planet. Four kind of adults. Men, women, bitches, and niggas. And every race has it. He's not really down with the bitches and niggas. I'm tired of them too. And when he was here, nobody was out fighting the war. Him and Dennis Rodman killed the shit with the dude in North Korea.
Kim Jong-un. He was the first president to go to North Korea.
Everybody was getting money.
Yeah.
Shit was cool. I'm Mr. Nobody, and I was balling. You know what I'm saying? Shit was cool under his watch. He was real. He was doing his job. And what I liked about him the most is the things that regular people hate about him the most. He was real. He told you how he felt. He could have lied like other politicians just to make you like him. One thing about him, you know what you're dealing with.
You heard it here first. Do you think that?
Yeah, that was Shanny Rich. Go check him out on TikTok and Twitter. So
Grandma?
this is the last thing I wanted to go over to today. It is obscene. It is insane and absurd. I almost said absurd, obscene. That's funny. It's absurd and insane. Almost did it again. This old woman who can't hear, can't really see, can't even really read what's in front of her at all, has to have her daughter read it to her. And instead of saying, hey, who do you support? Do you want this person who is this? This is their policy. This is their policy. This is the other policy. Okay. Or do you want to vote for this person? This is their policies. This is their other policy. And here's another one. And instead of doing something like that, where you just tell them like, I don't really agree with this, but you can at least say, what do you believe in? Do you want a person who believes in a strong economy, making sure that happens due to policies that were effective in a previous administration? Do you want to focus on immigration so that our country is not overflooded, so that the young generation of Americans have a chance of owning homes? And do you want, whatever else? And for, do you like, or do you want to vote for a person who was chosen for their race, who doesn't have a plan for the economy, can't answer questions, and openly says in previous interviews that they want an open border and that they want to give illegal immigrants free housing, free medical care, and free schooling? So what would you like? I mean, I could even say, and maybe give, not helpful, but nicer answers for Kamala. I would probably do that if I was going to do something like this, just to be fair. But that would at least be something that's reasonable. Instead of that, this girl goes, do you want to vote for the first black president or woman president, black woman president? And she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, okay, here you go. And instead of saying, well, do you want to vote for the man who actually secured an economy that was good, helped America grow, and became energy independent for the first time in history, that helped more people get off unemployment in the history of this country for most races, and for white people the most in 50 years? Do you want to help the younger generation be economically viable and stable? Nope. Doesn't say that. Ignores Trump completely and just talks about one person because that's what she wants, not what the old woman wants. So she manipulates her into getting the vote, making the vote that she wants, which is so illegal. I think old people, if you cannot read, if you do not follow politics at that age, and you have to be basically helped to even put the answers on a page, then you should not be voting. There should be a civics test that every American has to take every 5 years to make sure they're not only mentally stable to vote, but know their history.
Do you want to vote for the first black woman president ever? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a Democrat too. Okay, so I'll show you where to write. Keep the pen in your hand.
Yeah, look, that's illegal.
Right here.
You cannot use you cannot move someone else's hand to fill out a box. That is illegal.
Good job, Grandma. You got to vote for the first woman president.
That is so illegal and messed up. Jimmy Carter just did the same thing, and I think there was even a video. Look at this woman. She has a potty pad, like a puppy pad, a piss pad under her body. She is so old, she's incontinent. She can't even go to the bathroom, and she's voting. Are you kidding me? What the hell is that? Are you shitting me right now, dude? A woman who can't even go piss properly is voting. What the hell is wrong with this country? I don't know. Seriously, this is absurd. We need these problems fixed, which is why you vote for Trump. This won't happen again, hopefully. Alrighty, guys. That's going to be it for this episode. Or this, video. Don't forget to go down there, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button too. And don't forget to ring that bell for notification. Please go down there and leave a comment. I appreciate the comments I got, from my puppy. I'm feeling a lot better lately. Still pretty sad at sometimes, but he was a good puppy, and still got his bed next to me, and it makes me a little bit sad, but he's a great puppy. I appreciate all of the condolences and things like that people sent. It was really appreciated. Don't forget to go down there and share this video if you guys like it. And don't forget to go check out my Discord and my merch store at streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch. That's streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch. All righty, guys. Catch you in the next time. Have a good one.